Hello, and welcome to another episode of the ever-popular Deck Musings. I can feel a smile, you've already heard it already, forming on my face. I love doing these. It's just so much fun. Just looking at these older decks. Just looking, I think, at, like, throughout the year how, you know, the format of tournament decks and decks that are sort of associated with standard and block, and you know, ones that also to do with the theme decks, you know, how different types of deck come and go. So we're up to Saviours here. So we've had the bannings happen. You can see here between Betrayers being released and Saviours being released, we had a period in standard from March to June. So between two sets where the bannings occurred. So Outbound Ravager, Disciple of the Vault, Darksteel Citadel, so on. So I'm not going to do a set specifically, or sorry, an episode specifically about this period. We're sort of jumping from here to here, but as I did last week, just bring it up because it's super important. The amount of stuff that got banned, basically all of the artifact lands, plus and that includes Darksteel Citadel, which was a colourless one, and then Outbound Ravager and Disciple of the Vault. So, what have we got to play with at the moment? We're going to have a look at a white weenie deck. So we're in the period from June to August 2005. Next week, hopefully I'll be able to find some tournament decks that were around in either standard or block in this period, when you get this sort of rotation of the core set, because core sets were coming in and out every 2 years. So there's a period here, August to October, where 8th goes out, 9th goes in, and then in October we get into the edition of Ravnica. Interestingly enough, Worlds has been moved to later in the year, so it has the benefit of the first set of the next block as well. But hopefully I'll be able to find something for next week in this area. Looks pretty interesting if I can find any of these. Actually, there's a mono black rats kicking around, so I wonder if that changed much because of the core sets. Of course, remember, I know I've said this numerous times, but if it's the first time you've watched any of these videos, at that point in Magic's history, core sets contained all reprints, but of course every time they had a core set come out, the composition of those reprints was slightly different. And that carried on until 10th edition. And then when we got to M10, that's when you start to get 50-50 new cards with reprints. And as I said, also at this point, every 2 years, core sets came in and out. Yeah, so let's have a look, see where we are on the tournament scene. So we got Pro Tour London, and let me just scroll back a bit and sort of start from where we were, I think, last week. So last week, we had a look at I'm pretty sure it was Pro Tour Philadelphia. Just looking, yeah, so that's actually just gone live as I'm recording this video, because I record a week ahead. So yeah, so we were talking about block constructed, and we've got some Grand Prix. We've got Pro Tour London, which is a booster draft, including Saviours. We're not going to look at the booster draft because I tried doing a draft deck before and there's just so much stuff in it. And we get into a series of Grand Prix, one of which, helpfully, is block constructed, but would have featured the whole block. So Grand Prix Minneapolis. So on the channel Fireball, I'll include a link to this on their website. We've got a list of the decks. Funnily enough, we were looking last week at a Gifts Ungiven deck. So Gifts Ungiven was kicking around. This is I think slightly different composition, obviously. So I won't look at that. I want to have a look at White Weenie. So White Weenie, but built using cards just from Champions block. So Champions of Kamigawa, Betrayers of Kamigawa, and then the new set, Saviors of Kamigawa. So let us put this into grid. I would prefer grid, actually. The other reason why I wanted to talk about this deck is it's got Jitte, or Jitte, or however you want to say that, in the deck. I was hoping we'd have this turn up. So this was in Betrayer, so this was actually in the previous set. And Saviors has just come in. So if we go back here just to clarify that, you can see Champions, Betrayers, Saviors, and we are here. Got a few nationals going on as well. Okay, so there's the SEP symbol as we go through this, in case I don't always call out. It's nice though, if we just scroll forward and you have a look, you'll see that nice selection from the block. Okay, here we go. Manriki-Gusari. 2 to cast. It's equipment. Equipped creature gets +1/+2 and has destroy target equipment. Equipped for 1. Umezawa's Jitte. 2 to cast. Legendary artifact equipment. So of course you'd have to go by the legend rolls at that point in Magic's history. So I think at that point, and I might be wrong here because the legends rules changed a couple of times now, but if there was any other copy of this in play and another one came into play, then the copy of the one in play got blown up, went away. I think that's right. If I've got that wrong, please correct me. Whereas I think now, obviously slightly different, it's what's on your side of the board, I believe, unless it's changed again. Yeah. So 4 of those. For each of these artifacts. So whenever a equipped creature deals combat damage, put 2 charge counters on Umezawa's Jitte. Remove a charge counter from Umezawa's Jitte. Choose 1. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn, or target creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn, or you gain 2 life, and equip for 2. So we have 23 creatures. No surprise in a White Weenie deck. Let me just fix this, because it's better, isn't it, if we sort this by mana value, because then we can see the curve. Doesn't really matter so much here because they're all 2-drops. Okay, because that's pretty important I think in any deck, but particularly in a White Weenie deck, so you can see how it's sort of curving out and where you sort of get that bump from, say, transitioning for, say, 3 drops into higher things, or what are the higher drops, and how are the multiple copies, the number of multiple copies, how are they tailing off. Like obviously under normal circumstances on a mana curve, you don't really want 4 6 drops, for instance, but you do want quite a lot of the smaller lower casting cost cards, so you stand a better chance of drawing them earlier on in the game. So you can see here we've got 3 Isamaru Hound of Konda. 1 white to cast. It's a 2/2, but it's actually a legendary creature hound. So yeah, that will be under the legendary rule. Lantern Kami, there's one of those, and it's a 1/1 with flying. So of course the reason for playing this is going to be it's a 2/2 for 1, but you can only have one copy of it in play. Be interesting to know what the matchup's like for this. What was the what was the other decks? So we did have there's a few other white weenies in there. Yeah, okay. So yeah, quite a lot of legend shenanigans. So we've got 4 lantern camis. Yep, single white, 1/1 for flying. 4 8.5 tails, which I think we had in a previous episode of Commander Fodder, actually, as our commander. So 2 white mana, so 2/2. 1 and a white. Target permanent you control gains protection for white until end of turn. And single colourless, target spell or opponent becomes white until end of turn. Hand of Honour, 2 white, Human Samurai, 2/2, protection for black. Has Bushido 1. When this blocks or becomes blocked, it gets 1/1 until end of turn. So these are all 4-ofs. Samurai of the Pale Curtain, double white, 2/2, Bushido 1. If a permanent will be put into a graveyard, remove it from the game instead. So we're heavily invested in white here, double whites, but of course it doesn't matter because it's mono white, so not such a big issue as if it was we were playing multicolour. 2 Celestial Kirkins, 2 and 2 white, so 3/3 with flying. So that's pretty good. So what else have we got? Whenever you play a spirit or arcane spell, destroy all permanents with that spell's converted mana cost. Okay, it's pretty disruptive deck this actually across the board. And 2 Patrons of the Kitsunes. So that's top of our curve creature wise. 4 and 2 white. It's a 5/6 with a fox offering. It is a legendary creature as well, as was the Celestial Kirkin. So for fox offering, you may play this card any time you could play an instant by sacrificing a fox and paying the difference in mana cost between this and the sacrificed fox. Mana costs include colour. Whenever a creature attacks, you may gain 1 life. And that's a 5/6. How many foxes have we got in the deck? We've got 4 8.5 tails and 4 Samurai of the Pale Curtains. Right. 6 instants, comprising of 4 Otherworldly Journeys, which is 1 and a white, instant arcane, remove target creature from the game. At the end of turn, return that creature to play under its owner's control with a +1/+1 counter on it. And 2 Shining Shoals, X and 2 white. You may remove a white card with converted mana cost X in your hand from the game rather than pay Shining Shoal's mana cost. The next X damage that a source of your choice would deal to you or a creature you control this turn is dealt to target creature or player instead. We've got 23 lands, so there's 1 Eiganjo Castle, which is a legendary land, so you probably want a lot of these in the deck anyway. Just 1 copy. Tap, add white to your mana pool. White tap, prevent the next 2 damage that could be dealt to target legendary creature this turn. And 22 planes. That's it. So basically 8 artifacts, 23 creatures, 6 instants, 23 lands, and then we move on to Sideboard. You notice here we've got 1 extra copy of Isamaru. We've got Kitsune Blademaster, 1 and a white, creature fox samurai with first strike, Bushido 1, and it's a 2/2. Nikko-Onna, 2 and a white, 2/2. When it comes into play, destroy target enchantment. Whenever you play a spirit or arcane spell, you may return Nikko-Onna to its owner's hand. Opal-Eye, Konda, Yojimbo, 4 of those, 1 and 2 whites, 1/4 with Bushido 1 and Defender, so it can't attack. Tap, add next time So tap. The next time a source of your choice will deal damage this turn, that damage is dealt to Opal-Eye, Konda, Yojimbo instead. 1 and a white, prevent the next 1 damage that will be dealt to Opal-Eye this turn. 2 Celestial Kirins, which are in the main deck. And then we've got 4 Hokori Dust Drinker. It's a legendary creature again, it's a spirit. 2 and 2 whites, a 2/2. Lands don't untap during their controller's untapped steps. Beginning of each player's upkeep, that player untaps a land he or she controls. So we've got some interesting cards in here. You'll notice they're all creatures, but a lot of them have, you know, spell-like utility on them, or non-creature spell-like utility, and also can do some pretty interesting things as a result of other things happening. So here you got, whenever you play a Spirit or Arcane spell, destroy permanents with a spell's converted mana cost. Next time a source of your choice will deal damage. So things like that. Whenever a spirit, yeah. So lots of these sort of triggers there. So yeah, a little bit of control there. And yeah, look at that. Lots of 2-drops. So should be pretty fast deck. But again, you know, we do have a number of legendary creatures here, so that comes with its own challenges. Okay, let's have a look at the planes. While I take a sip of my nice drink. I have this particularly favourite tea I like. I call it tiger tea because it's got a picture of a tiger on it. I'm trying to remember who makes it, but it's really nice. It's like a sort of non-black tea chai. It's got chicory in it and carob, I think, amongst a lot of other nice things. A lot of nice herbs in it. Herbs and spices. Okay. So that's given us plenty of opportunity while I'm stalling to look at the planes in all their glory. What might be my favourite? I don't know, it's difficult, isn't it? They all look really cool. I do like this one. Okay, here we go. Let's dive in. So, here's our legendary lands. I think we would have touched on these last week or the week before. They were a cycle, as I'm sure I've said. Only one of them has been reprinted, which is this one. What's that from? Oh, Domineer United Commander. Okay, so what can we have a look at? It's a utility land, and obviously that covers a lot of bases here. Some of these are here because there's a land on the flip side. But I'm interested in this, and I'm going to see, so better put our old favourite in here. There we go. Stick 'em by release date. This is what I was looking for, actually. So I'm going to put now type land. So I'm curious about lands that do the same thing. Oh, interesting. Well, I didn't know that. So if that's right, and I've got my searches right, is that the only land yeah, with damage prevention for a creature. Apart from Oasis, and does it see any other land? So then, what I'm also curious about then is in here, lands that prevent. Just look for the word prevent. Let's look for some variations here. So 1 damage. How's that been reworded? Prevent all combat damage. Okay, makes sense. Yeah. So yeah, okay. Same with the Glacial Chasm. Maze of Shadows. How's that reworded? Prevent all combat. Yeah, so it's not including any that say all combat damage. Yeah, all combat damage dealt. Okay, I see. So that includes slightly more if we do it that way. Oh, cool. Dissension. So that'll be coming up soon. There's lots of really cool lands in that set. Well, that's a nice little... These are pretty expensive, aren't they? Oh, not too bad. Okay. I'm assuming because they've been reprinted a few times now. How much would that a nice little set me back? So look. Yeah, I knew this was expensive, although I'm pretty sure I have a 4th edition copy kicking around. So if you don't want to fork out for the Arabian Nights version, yeah, you go for that. Maze of Ith, 26 for the original, but there's no other ones in the old style borders. Well, yeah, no, but it's the new artwork. Okay. Glacial Chasm. I think I might have a copy of this, I'm not sure. 566. Maze of Shadows. Core Haven. It's been reprinted in Tales of Middle-earth. Nemesis, I don't think I have a copy of this. I was in the Zendikar expeditions. Oh, there we go. Prav was only printed in Dissension. Well, yeah, if you... Yeah, so the only ones you'd have to sub out... $26. Could be worse. Alright, let's see what we've got here. Some of these I might end up skipping over a little bit because we might have seen some of these in a previous week or the ideas, but this looks interesting. Okay, Bear with Sets Mechanic, Graveyard Seal. I'll have to look at that one. Hate Graveyard, yeah, we would have looked at that in numerous episodes. Hate Blocker, Hate Bear, Block Trigger, Synergy. So it says better than Shrine Keeper. Okay, 2 for 2. Is that only available on Arena, maybe? Bear with a Set Mechanic. 201 of those. So just to give you some idea. Oh look, we have looked at this before. Quite possibly last week, or I don't know. It's all a bit of a blur sometimes, isn't it? Ooh. Oh yeah, Doughty Slayer. Oh yeah, we got some classics here. Oh, Tidal of Sculler. Of course, Kosali Pride Mage. Yeah. Has Exalted on it, and this nifty Destroy Target Artifact or Enchantment. There's Nest Invader, Spectral Rider, New Private Guildmate, okay. What else did I want to look at? It's Graveyard Seal. Prevent interaction with the graveyard or reanimation, or make it more difficult. Okay. Have we been down here? Don't think so. This is not a rabbit hole we appear to have been down yet. A whippoorwill from the dark. Single green, double green, until end of turn. Target creature may not regenerate, and damage done to target creature may not be prevented or redirected. If target creature goes to the graveyard, remove it from the game. So for 96 cents you get a Graveyard Seal in green. And Samurai of the Pale Curtain. And you got things, I remember this, I think it's in one of the decks. One of the theme decks maybe. Voidmaw. I probably opened a copy of one. Nice artwork. Withered Runestone. Yeah, I don't recognise so many of these. Maybe Dryad Militant, because it's from Return to Ravnica. Grafdigger's Cage from Dark Ascension. Okay. Umezawa's Jitte, banned in Modern. Few rules notes there. Okay. Exemplary. Okay, there's an exemplary thing there. Life gain, removal creature toughness. Referenced by. Okay. It's interesting, that's on an instant. Namesake spells, Saboteur. I imagine that's quite a thing, yeah. So really any of these spells where, you know, it's doing -1, and I know we had a look at this sort of style of spell recently. And Saboteur is something else we've yeah, another rabbit hole we've definitely been down, you can see, quite a number of times. So anything I want to sort of think about, I would say, let's just have a look. CMC 2. Okay, 2-drop equipment. Why not? So, just yeah, I'll have a look. I now that's in my head. I'm just curious when equipment first appeared in Magic, so we'll do that in a moment. But yeah, you can see it was 112. 2-drop pieces of equipment in Magic that are completely colourless, don't have, like a colour in the activation cost or anything like that. And you can see here all the first printing. So yeah, you got mirrored in. There's a lot of, not surprising, in the block, a lot of 2-drop pieces of equipment. Although, that's interesting. Did I make a mistake there? Yeah, let me roll that back. I misspoke actually, or missearched. Strictly, I should have done that. That's better. 104. That's more like it. That's what I wanted to see. So I just got rid of any ones where it was in the... Yeah, I did, colour identity of 0, which is based on this as opposed to... Sorry, I did colour originally, which is based on this, like the colour in the casting cost, as opposed to colour identity, which I now have, which looks at the whole thing. Okay. Yep, quite a number of 2-drops. Gives you a nice idea, what you get for 2. I mean, some of these might have a slightly higher equip cost. It's always interesting as well, cards like this, Swiftfoot Boots, and other things that, protect your commander. Useful for that, Lightning Greaves. You could see there was quite a lot of 2-drop equipment in M13. Must have been because of this cycle. Remember these rings? Oh, that's sort of the Animist. Excellent. Glamdring is in here. Sting. Aces baseball bat. Okay, back to there, because what I wanted to know. Let's take that out. So yeah, equipment first appeared in Mirrodin. Now there was, prior to that, where there was sort of equipment-like things, but yeah. Okay. Hand of Honour. Okay, 2/2 for 2, protection from black. This is going to be, bear with set mechanic. So we did have a look at that. Hate bear, duration, block trigger, French vanilla, hate blocker, hand of cruelty. It mirrors it. And better than Shrinekeeper. I don't think there's anything particularly new that we haven't either seen in a previous episode or in this episode. We might find again there's a number of cards that are very similar-ish in terms of their position on their curve and what category they fall into. But let's have a look at Shining Shoal. So this is an instant. There was a cycle of shoals. Some have been reprinted. Damage French new, Synergy White, Pitch Spell, Creature, Damage Redirection. I think all of these we have seen in previous episodes. Interesting the way it sort of does that. I mean, all of these, so 148 cards in Magic that do that. Damage redirection, 68. pitch spells, 91 of those. So they give you the option to cast them for free. And I think, yeah, we've been up and down the curve on that one. That's good when I don't clear the search for these. Damage prevention U, 148. Okay, we'll have a look at this. Doesn't look like I've specifically been down this rabbit hole yet in the series. Okay. Yeah, oh, circles, the circle of protections. Well, of course. Amulet of these. It's Dark Sphere. Nova Pentacle. 4 to cast. 3 tap redirect damage done to you from one source to target creature an opponent's choice. Then we've got Glacial Chasm, which we saw. See how it's preventing all damage. Mercenaries. So you can see we've got a few Ice Age cards here. Oh, here's Alliances. Mirage, Visions, Circle of Protection, Shadow. There's Pariah, which is in, you know, quite a few, because it's an enchantment, it's in quite a few combos. Yeah, there's the permanent, so sticks around. And we got these Rune of Protections from, would that be Urza's Saga? Heavy Fog, which came from Portal 3 Kingdoms. General's Regalia. Now, isn't there, oh dear me. That reminds me of something. Isn't that also featured on, oh, what's the name of that? Squee, yep. That's it, I thought I recognised that. That's the earlier artwork, I reckon, yeah. It's a nice thing with these, you know, just looking at artwork over and over and cards over and over again. Eventually, it takes a long time, you do tend to do that. It's like, yeah, I've seen that before with someone's wearing that in a card. And there's all the spheres of things. Wow. I don't know if I've ever spoken about these. If a green source would deal damage to you, prevent 2 of that damage. Circle of Solace. There's our Shining Shoal. Prize Shield. Ruined Halo. As for Battle Major. Harm's Way. Okay. Oh yeah, because Safe Passage as well. Wow. There's some stuff coming back here. Yeah, so these sort of fog effects, but asymmetric. So it's just damage prevention to you. Okay, Lantern Cami. 1/1 for 1 with flying. Evasion, yep. So, similar to an Aven Skirmisher. Worse than a Fairy Guide Mother. Yeah, I was thinking of Suntail Hawk actually when I saw it. Segovian Angel. It's worse than that. That one you get Flying Vigilance on it. And, oh yeah, Doppelgeist. Get to tap. Okay, flying, and you get to tap down a target creature. So, I think we are going to have to look at So one, oh no, let's do this right. CMC of 1. That has flying. And its power is 1, and its toughness is 1. 91. But I really want it to be what is it? Is it hyphenated? Yeah, good. Okay. I just wanted to get rid of any that have it on an activation cost, so it had to be like keyworded in there. Release date. And of course that. Okay. Cool. So 11 cards where they're 1/1s for 1 and they have flying, and it is purely keyworded. There's an arena card there. Did we get that right? No. Let me just make sure that is it doing it that way or is it the other way? Yeah, maybe I'm missing something again. I'm not sure why Doppelgeist isn't there. It's probably something really obvious that I'm missing. Oh, it wouldn't be a French vanilla, would it? 'Cause it's got extra stuff on it, so that's not really going to help. Yeah, so yeah. So anything out that's got an ability. Okay. So maybe if I do, actually, yeah, there is a way I could do it. Because if it's activation cost, so if I do this kind of idea of 1, yeah, of course that doesn't get out. I suppose I'm determined here, so if I did gains, minus out gains, is that going to work? I think that would probably work. Looking at this, yeah. Okay, that's a better way to do it, yeah, because French vanilla doesn't work very well if you're just also interested in stuff that does. Oh, we got, yeah, okay. So, with or without flying, so I need to take out that as well. Yeah, there may well be a quicker way to do this apart from just filtering down like that. But because it just has to mention flying in there as well. Of course, any cards that might have flying but also have that ability would might also disappear. Okay. Interesting. There's our Topple-Geist, which sort of started all of this. And do you get anything with... Yeah, I imagine these have probably got downsides to them, maybe. 2-1 flying for 1. What about 2-2? Oh yes, Glinthawk. Oh, yeah. And then 1-2. Okay. Oh, this one with the Fox Offering. What do we got? So it's a cycle of Kami patrons. Yeah, patron of. Only this one was reprinted in what's that, CM2, which is what? Oh, it's 2011. Oh wow. Better than Jitte. Oh yeah. 4-2 white and a blue. Fair enough. Tribal Fox. Attack trigger. Non-creature tribal. Oh yeah, I've come across this before. Synergy attacker. I imagine there's quite a number of those. Gains flash, right. Okay, so as part of that, yeah, it's acting as flash. Right. I see. Oh, of course, yeah, that was it. Fox Offering, Moon, Folk Offering, Rat, Goblin, and Snake. Yeah, remember this one? Blast Furnace Hellkite. Nice. Otherworldly Journey. Flicker creature. Gives PP counters. Okay. Liberate. Better than Liberate. Similar to Long Road Home. Protects creature. What's a flicker slow? Exile a card now, get it back later. Usually end of turn. Okay. When was that first a thing? Parallax wave. Yeah. Oh, there's Astral Slide. There's Flicker Wisp. Sudden Disappearance. That's on Etherling. Yeah, loads of those. 1/1 counters. And yeah, a number of cards that flicker creatures. generally. Yeah. So yeah, a lot of these are going to appear twice here. Okay. 8.5 tails. It's a Shrine Keeper. Oh, yeah, better than Shrine Keeper. Okay. That seems to have cropped up quite a bit now. Invasion, 8 white, protects a creature, mana sink, gives protection, colour change. Yeah, all of these I think we've had a look at. Celestial Kirin. Cast trigger U. So we got legendary Kirin cycle, of which, yeah, never been reprinted. All at rare. Okay. What's this? There's quite a lot of those. Oh, whenever you cast a spell, okay, yeah. Yeah, synergy with arcane. I mean, I'm assuming at some point in the series we've definitely looked at 3/3s for 4 with flying. Yeah, I see quite a few here. Let's just look for monocolour creatures for the moment. Charmed Griffin. Oh, again, it's, yeah. Yeah, so some of these are here because they're not flyers, but they've got something in there that either activates flying or does something to flying or to flying or with flying. Yeah. Oh, Vampire Nocturnus. Yeah, that was a Jules the Planeswalker promo. Online promo as well. And a 2010 promo. It's done a lot of promo action. I remember this. He's a Storm Rock. I think I got it in a sealed deck pool actually one time. I think I was still... I'm trying to remember if I was still playing Magic the Gathering Online at the time of Kaladesh. Oh. Yeah. Namesake spell. Shinekeeper again. Yeah. So in Magic, you know, 2/2s for 1. So CMC, and we've been down this rabbit hole before in the past. But let's just refresh our memory. So yeah, 31 cards where the manual value is 1 and the power and toughness. The power is 2, the toughness is 2. Now, no doubt you'll see that some of these may well have a downside. Yeah, like can't attack, can't block. You have to sacrifice it unless there's something else in play. Yeah, so there's some of these often have an attack or block clause on them. You get things like carnophage. Did I? Yeah. Let's do this. Easy to see it. Okay, that's better. Yeah, I was looking at that thinking, no, that came out a lot earlier. Exodus. Yeah, carnophage. There's Isamaru. And then you got things like Vampire Lacerator. Beginning your upkeep, you lose 1 life unless an opponent has 10 or less life. So yeah, it was interesting, like mono black deck at that point in Zendikar, I think. But that was, I don't know if anybody else has. I remember the Zendikar draft, I think, just being so fast. Just, yeah. I didn't realise how fast it was till I tried to play it online and just got absolutely slaughtered. Because I wasn't really building. Yeah, I didn't do my homework very well. Yeah. And you got things like Phantasmal Bear. I think this was in some, when they were creating those event decks. Wasn't there a group of M12 event decks which had one of them, I don't know if they were doing 1 or 2 at that point, but one of them certainly had a Phantasm theme in it. Have we ever seen? Yeah, there's never been like a 2/2 for 1 with just vanilla. I mean, this obviously you have to bear in mind the legendary rule. So that's its downside. But I don't think there's all things that slow it down conditionally, or there's some flaw or something that makes it slightly vulnerable in some way. That's interesting. That's a 1/1. Oh, it's because of, yeah, that's why. Yeah, so these flip, right, that's why they're there. Okay. Manriki-Gusari. Removal equipment destroy. 47 of them. Starting with, has that been errated? Oh, destroy target red permanent. So yeah, because you can get red equipment. Yeah, I see. Okay, that makes sense. So anything that buries a permanent or a type of permanent or destroys it or whatever, yeah, is going to be here. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. How often do we see that on an artifact, I wonder? So despotic Manriki-Gusari. Oh, there's some Reaper King. Hammer of a Ring, Argentum Armour, Lux Cannon. Because it's doing permanents again. Yeah, so a lot of these here, I think. There's a few that specifically reference equipment, so Hammer of Ruin does it, this one obviously. And Rustful Ram. But of course nothing before this would have, equipment wasn't invented, so it would have just done it because, going forward, because of End Destroy Any Permanent. Good old spine. Right, there's sideboard time, or cards that are exclusively in the sideboard that we haven't covered already. Lockdown land. Okay, let's go down there. So that's the enchantment version in blue. Lockdown, yeah. Permanent stays tapped, named in the colour pie. 2017 article. Okay, it's 101 of those. Bit I'm interested in is land lockdown. Do we have any sort of candidates for No Hand No Land? Well, from my original No Hand No Land episode, which is, if you haven't seen yet, it is an excellent series that I did back in the day. So on my channel, search for No Hand No Land. I think very interesting series, was really cool, got lots of interaction from viewers, lots of really cool suggestions. Yeah, Mole Worms, I believe, was in the original deck. So all the way back from, at that point, probably 4th edition deck actually. Yeah. So really locking down your land rather than blowing it up. There's Rising Waters. There's Choke. Let's do this properly. Yeah, we've definitely looked at this before. And I no doubt I've name-checked my own series. Oh, there's... Okay, so, yeah, the original was in Ice Age, that was it. But I probably had... Mine were probably 4th edition copies, I suspect. Because I think the original deck was from one of my, Magic the Gathering old school deck building things. Probably the which one? So I've got it off to the side here. Strategy guide. Oh, that's advanced and yeah. Don't have it to hand actually. Thought I did, I must put it somewhere else. I think it's upstairs actually. Back to basics. So yeah, never again after this. So no, we're not going to do that. Yeah, it's pretty, I've always got the impression, and I've probably read certain articles, is in Magic, generally they like to stay a little bit, well, quite a lot clear of anything that stops people playing stuff. Messes with your land. So it's done in quite a restrained way. And this can be pretty frustrating because it's not as if you're blowing the lands up and then maybe you could get them back from the graveyard or whatever stuff that it's just stopping stuff untapping. I mean, you can blow the creature up, sure, but yeah, it's really annoying. So stuff like that. And obviously you do see things like instant, that blow up a single land that blows up land, things like Stone Rain as well, non-creature spells, non-permanent spells that deal with land as well, but yeah, this is particularly egregious. Oh, Mana Leech. So yeah, nice little collection there. If lockdown land is your thing, shall I look? Let's see the price of these things. So yeah, 145. Did get reprinted in 8th edition. Yeah, I'd be interested to see which ones get reprinted. That was in Ultimate Masters. So is this, yeah, the Urza's one is the most expensive so far by the look of things. Tasabu's Web. Okay. So yeah, nice little themed collection there. Right, Kitsune Blademaster. 2/2 for 3 with first strike Bushido and Bushido. Block trigger. 8 blocker, French vanilla. Synergy blocker self. There's quite a lot of those. It's 1/1. Oh, here we go. Opal-Eye. Block trigger, delayed replacement effect, namesake spell, damage redirection, 8 blocker. Delayed replacement effect. What do we see here? Something we've looked at before? No, doesn't look like it, does it? There's only 31 of them, so that's always a good candidate for a smaller rabbit hole to go down. Oh yeah, pyramids. Yeah. I always really like the artwork on that, nice and simple. It's a poly artifact. It's modal as well. Aladdin's lamp. Wow. Actually. Oh. Did I accidentally do something there? That's better. Okay, Nova Pentacle, reflect damage, Shaman Encore, there's General's Regalia again. Wow. Is that from Art Schemes from DCI promos? So that would be what? Arch Enemy. Something like that. Something like that. Oh, words of... Okay, the words. Cycle of words. Are all delayed replacement effects. And then Nikko-Onna. About self, cycle of owners, of which, yeah, never reprinted. Removal, enchantment, destroy. About self. I imagine we've already must have been down this rabbit hole, yeah. Anything else interesting there that I want to look at? What is it? It's a creature spirit. It's a 2/2 for 3. Yeah, so all of these... I think I know what I must have gone down. Something similar, yeah, is these things. Because I noticed that these are really popular on a lot of, commander lists. Because you get, a creature, when it's stapled to a creature, a creature with that, remove enchantment effect on it. And I'm thinking of things like, Indrik Stomp Howler. And then more recently, M10, Acidic Slime, Mold Shambler. you've got Castle Pro Mage, which we mentioned before. So yeah, it crops up a lot. Polish Crusher. Yeah, so there's always something, you know, it's fairly regular that you see that has that creature in combination with some sort of enchantment removal. Here I'm just looking for removal, enchantment, destruction, but also, yeah, often that you get it with, you know, it says here artifacts as well. So I'm just looking at the first. So Cloud Chaser Eagle, 3 and a white, flying. When it comes into play, destroy target enchantment. Boom. There's green. Oh, red one you got to do kicker, does it? I'm just wondering then if... Are there any... Okay. Thunderscape. Battle Mage. Are we ever going to find it? So, not surprisingly, white and green creatures. There's our... Okay, but that's in green. Okay, here's our Nikko-Onna, also on the Kami of Ancient Law. It is on Jaya Ballard, but that's because this does permanence, so that would be included. I mean, it doesn't see, you know, it doesn't surprise me to see it predominantly on green or white creatures, but I was curious as to other monocolour cards if it had turned up outside of those two colours. Ghastly Death Tyrant. Okay, good to know. So there we have it. Hopefully you enjoyed that as much as I enjoyed putting this together. It's really interesting to see, you know, white weenie deck from that period. Remember, for this particular event, it was block constructed, and it was all 3 sets from the block, from Champions block. I'll include links to, you know, the first bits here, so you can look up. This looks like a really good resource, actually. I should use this a little bit more. So yeah, I know I use, was it top 8 decks or something like that usually, or MTG top 8, but this looks pretty cool. As the prices here as well, so you can see really easily. Definitely, yeah. Yeah, that as well is quite nice. You can see there's a few here. Yeah, slight tweaks. If we go down, you see lots of similar things. Some that are in the sideboard of the other deck end up being mainboarded here. Other ones, there's slightly different cards. Umezawa's Jitte seems to make an appearance. Yeah, so that was the one we looked at, I think. Yeah, so it looks like, yeah, a few tweaks here and there, but there's the Jitte, or Jitte, however you want to say it. What's been this one? I got sidetracked again. I sort of forgot to do this. I was going to do this because I quite liked how this sort of dropped down. Yeah, you can sort of, as I've been quickly going here, I don't know how to use this, you can sort of see a core here. It's interesting, the deck I featured, the other decks that were in the top 8 featured this, but it didn't. But yeah, it was on his Jitte again. But yeah, that Charge Across Arabia wasn't in the deck we looked at today, but was in the other top 8 mono white decks. As I said, the winner was a Gifts Ungiven deck, so you can look at that and compare it to the one from the previous week if you're curious. But you can see a pretty complicated land base going on there. And of course this would have been block constructed from 3 sets, whereas the previous week would have been just 2, first 2. So thanks once again for watching. Bye for now, and I will catch you in a future episode.